Viewers, at least 14 people were killed and 23 others were injured after a private bus caught fire following a collision with a tipper lorry in Andhra Pradesh, Markapuram district on Thursday. Now, viewers, according to officials, the impact of the collision led to a fire in the bus, leaving several passengers trapped. Many of the victims were charred to death. Now, the Superintendent of Police V. Harshavardhan Raju confirmed the casualties, stating that the injured, including the driver, have been shifted to a nearby hospital. Now, the authorities are continuing efforts to gather complete details about the incident. Now, viewers, the bus carrying around 35 passengers was traveling from Jagitial in Telangana to Kaligiri in Nellore district at the time of the accident. Now, the driver of the tipper lorry also sustained injuries and is undergoing treatment. Now, Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu expressed shock and grief over the loss of lives, and he has directed authorities to conduct a thorough investigation into the cause of the accident and submit a detailed report. Now, viewers, according to the officials, the bus driver reportedly stated that the steering wheel got stuck, and the authorities are verifying this claim. And viewers, the preliminary assessment suggested that the bus moved into the opposite lane before the crash. And meanwhile, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, N. Chandrababu Naidu, held a teleconference with the senior officials and ministers and directing them to extend the best possible medical care to the injured. Now, viewers, I'm being joined by my colleague Mohammad Wajiullah. Waji, what is the current status? How many confirmed casualties and how many people are critical at this moment?
Well, Sabya, absolute tragedy early in the morning on the Markapuram highway. And what we've learned so far is that earlier it was reported that 10 people had lost their life, but now the toll has risen to 14 because a lot of them who were injured with serious burn injuries have also succumbed to those injuries. And the visuals itself give you a clear indication of how dramatic and catastrophic the entire accident was. From what we've learned is that the bus which was on his way to Nellore from Telangana lost control and had a head-on collision with a lorry, and the diesel tank then caught fire and it immediately engulfed the entire bus. And from the visuals that we saw of the entire bus last night, these visuals that we are showing on our screen clearly indicates the horrific tragedy where it was very difficult for the passengers to come out at that point of time, while most of them were sleeping when the accident happened. And that is why the reason there has been a lot of loss of life. If you look back at these accidents, this is not a one-off accident. We've seen a few in the last 1 year on the same particular highway. And what we see in common is the way the buses have caught fire because of either leak in the diesel engines or because of the luggage that they've been carrying, which catches fire. But in this particular tragedy, 14 of them have lost their life. The chief minister has spoken to the district authorities and have told them to take care of almost every necessity that the passengers need. But a tragedy indeed.
The Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh has said that the investigation, a thorough investigation, has ordered for a thorough investigation. But as far as the preliminary assessment is concerned, are you picking anything? What led to this tragic accident?
Well, it is too early to say, but from what we've learned is that after the head-on collision, when the bus went on the other side of the road, because the impact of the collision was so heavy that the diesel engine caught sparks, and that is where it entire the bus was engulfed in fire. We still have to wait for the report from the police to find out, because in earlier incidents, what we've seen is when the bus caught fire, there were firecrackers inside those bus. There were elements of luggage that were there, which had the tendency to catch fire immediately, and all these things will now be assessed by the police on the ground to check what could have led to the bus catching fire. But so far, from what we know, is that the diesel engine caught fire, and it was because of that we see this tragedy.
Ji, are you picking anything from the eyewitnesses? Because it's a tragic incident. The incident, 14 people have lost their life. Several has been critically injured. So clearly it happened within a few minutes. In fact, the passengers could not get proper time to get out from the bus.
Absolutely. From what we've learned is that this happened at late at night. Most of the passengers were sleeping, had no idea what was happening from them, and then all of a sudden, a lorry from the other side had a head-on collision with the bus. The inquiry is also on how this head-on collision happened, because if it's a two-way highway, then what led to this accident to happen? So that is also one thing. But from what we've learned is that because of the initial impact, the bus lost its control, went on the other side, fell off the road, and that is where it caught a fire. Most of the passengers were already in deep slumber. And they could not fathom the fact that what had happened, and it took them time to gather themselves and leave. Because of the impact, also they had a lot of injuries at that point of time and were not able to get up. And because of the bus catching fire, and engulfing the entire bus into a huge fume, did not give them an opportunity to escape at that point of time, is what we've learned from a few of the eyewitnesses over there. Most of them are injured right now, are at the hospital with serious burn injuries. But from what we could gather, the sense that we've understood from locals who we've spoken to, they have told us that this is what happened there. It took time for the fire brigade to reach as fast as possible to the spot to douse the fire. But by that time, a lot of them had lost their life.
Much, Mohammad Wajula, for giving us insights on this tragic incident that has happened in Andhra Pradesh, where at least 14 people were killed and 23 others were injured after a private bus caught fire following a collision with a tipper lorry in Andhra Pradesh, Markapuram district.